Hi, I'm Charlie Capola. Not only am I an award-winning tattoo artist and owner of Low Tide Tattoo, I'm also a keen multi-species angler. Over the coming year, I'm going to be taking my friends from studio to bank and to boat in search of the best the UK has to offer. From tattoos to tactics and inks to hook links, I am the illustrated angler. Alright, welcome to this episode of The Illustrated Angler. We're going to do things a little bit differently today. I'm going to be on the receiving end of the sharp thing. I'm here with my good mate Lee Hadfield at Swansea Tattoo Company. We're going to really get through this tattoo nice and quick. It's a busy shop, we don't want to take up too much of their time. We're going to do this and we're going to go and try and catch some carp. See you shortly. So you join us at the lake, which happens to be White Springs, just outside Swansea. Usually, as you know, we do a little bit of talking in the studio, how me and Lee know each other and all that sort of thing. But the studio's quite busy at the moment, Lee, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty busy now at the end of the summer.
Yeah. So we decided we'd come down here, get all the gear sorted, get the rods on the spots, then we can do our talking about our rigs, our tactics, how me and Lee came to know each other, our history and everything else. So we're going to crack on now, we're going to get the rods out. Hopefully next time you see us we'll have a nice big carp in there. Right, well, the rods haven't been out that long, and first one's away. My first Welsh carp, so a Welsh PB by default. Just on a really simple, stiff-coated braid D-rig and a wafter, 16mm wafter, fished over some crumbed up boilies. Gave me the right run around. I've got to say, if I hadn't have seen the fish, I would have thought it was twice the size. We're going to get this one back out pretty quickly because we're hoping there's some bigger fish on the spot. We'll get it back out, get this fish back in, get the rods back out, and hopefully you'll see us again pretty soon with an even bigger one. Right, so we're just going to sort of take a minute just to have a little chat and discuss how me and Lee met, how we know each other, our history if you like, but we can't actually agree on how we met or how long we've known each other. I believe it was the first time we met was I went to guest at Lee's shop in Swansea. and Lee seems to think it might have been at Brighton Tahoe Convention, but it could have been either one of them. Probably sort of maybe four-ish years ago, we think. And along the way, we've bumped into each other a fair few times at Tahoe conventions, and more recently we've done a bit of fishing, haven't we, mate?
We have done a bit of fishing, haven't we?
I think the first time we went fishing was
down in that lake is it Essex?
We went trout fishing on Hadfield Reservoir. It was an alright day. The fishing was fairly difficult. I think did we both manage one in the end? I can't remember.
I think we did, yeah. It was nice. We had a nice romantic time on the boat.
Yeah.
I had a fit of rage because we had to wear life jackets, which made us look novice.
Yeah.
But
which we got over. But then more recently we've done a bit of carp fishing over at Loggie's Lake in Kent.
We did. That was a lovely night. Yeah.
We managed to winkle that one between us, but it was.
Well,
it was fishing hard,
I've got to be honest. In the hours of darkness, whilst you were snoring, I did catch attention. I didn't want to wake you up for it, and I can't prove it because I have no video footage or pictorial evidence. But trust me, I caught one.
I believe you. No, nobody would lie about catching attention.
They wouldn't, would they? You'd lie about certainly better fish than that.
But yeah, so when the idea of this sort of program came around, I actually bounced it off of Lee initially, really, a good few years ago, before it even ever really started moving. And so you've only recently sort of got into carp fishing, have you? You've been doing a lot of trout fishing and the Broad and things like that.
Yeah. I've done a lot of trout fishing, and I've always been really big in the summer months. Bass fishing ever since I was a little kid. Do you know what I mean? I can remember my father used to go out poaching and all that kind of stuff, and I know I shouldn't mention that, but you could do that in the 70s.
Yeah.
And I've always been interested in trout and bass predominantly. That was it.
Yeah.
And then obviously I had a couple of mates that was always nagging me to jump on the carp train, and I don't know, it didn't appeal to me that much. But now my joints are getting a little bit more stiff, and sitting in one place for a period of time,
it's a little bit easier.
Starting to appeal to me. So I took it up a couple of weeks ago.
That. Yeah, I understand that. You had a bit of luck in France, didn't you? You had a few fish.
Yeah.
Actually, your first carp was how big?
41.5 pounds.
Yeah. Set yourself up there a bit, mate.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to beat that now. But
you never know, mate. There's fish, a lot of lakes you could beat that, but it's a good start to say the least. Well, we hope to get you off the mark with a fish from here pretty soon.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I think probably
might be quicker than we initially thought. But I mean, who knows? But we've got a couple of days. There's definitely fish in the area. There's been fishing well down our end of the lake.
There's one in the bag already.
Which is great.
So after the first one, after the stalemate, it seems to they all seem to come out of the reeds, don't they?
Yeah, it definitely takes the pressure off a little bit. So. We'll crack on. We'll retie some rigs, get some things sorted, and hopefully, I said this last time and it worked. Next time you see us, we'll be holding a carp.
Swashing around in the breeze. Obviously, as you can see behind me, there's a lovely scenic bit of mist going across the top of the old aqua there. I have been told there's some monster chubum in there, and there's a couple of iguana. Obviously, being in South Wales, the iguana are very dormant at the moment because of the weather conditions. However, I'm hoping to lure one out with one of Charlie's new boilies, Sticky Bait's Bella. That's the only boil I can think of. There you are. First little carp of the day in the little pond behind me. What is it called? Is it little? I know, one of the little adjacent ponds, isn't it?
Okay.
I don't know, what size would you say that is? Only a small one, but nice. Off sort of I had two pop-ups on a hair rig, which pretty much made it into a small zig rig, I would have thought, about 6 inches off the floor. And was out for about all of 10 minutes. So it's a nice place to come, innit, to have a quick catch. Nice little mirror. Naughty.
Just before first night, same rod rattled off again. This one 26.8, so another new Welsh PB. Absolutely stunning fish, but completely conversely to the last one, which was quite nice actually. Just rolled into the net, not a lot of fight, just a heavy weight. Real beautiful fish. Again, like I said, on the same rod, so it's all may as well just be fishing one rod at the moment. But we're gonna get this one back. Get the spots resorted now. We've got a little bit of light, and hopefully we're creeping up. We might make that 30 barrier. So final morning here at White Springs. Nothing happened in the night. A couple of bleeps at first light, but you know, nothing sort of materialised. Just standing around, really chatting away, and chewing the fat, and we got to discussing how each of us got into tattooing really. And my story is quite bland in comparison to Lee's, so we're hoping to share a little bit of it with a little bit of censorship at the moment. So Lee's going to lead you away with how he got into tattooing.
Well, obviously, you know, with my past, I spent a few years in the military, 13-14 years in the parachute regiment, and I was always known as the battalion artist. So if there was any kind of sign writing to be done on the vehicles or on the stores, you know, I'd be called up to the Sergeant Major's office to take on the challenge. And I can remember a few of the boys at one point in my career, they come back from having an early little drink downtown on a Friday afternoon when we were stood down a bit earlier, and they were a bit disappointed because they'd been down to the local tattoo shop, and they wanted to get their genitalia tattooed with little parachutes and para and sergeant stripes and all that kind of stuff. And they put two and two together when they seen me, and they said, I tell you what, we can get Taff Hadfield a tattoo machine and he can tattoo us wherever we want him to tattoo us. And I can remember hearing this and thinking to myself, well, I'm pretty sure it's a lot harder than it looks to get to tattoo someone, because I didn't know anything about tattooing at all. But I took up the challenge, and they chipped in a couple of quid, got my machines, worked out how to set them all up, and started scratching on their old Willy Winkles. And from there I've never looked back, to be honest. So I'm a deep believer that if you can tattoo a Willy Winkle, you can tattoo anything.
This is no truer statement than that as well. I don't really know how to lead on from that, but we've got a couple of hours left now. We're going to really try hard to get you another fish with the cameras, but if not, we've had a good time, haven't we, mate?
We've had a great time, thanks, Charlie.
Again, hopefully we'll have another fish before we go, but here we go. Coming up in the next episode of The Illustrated Angler.